Halal and kosher, they're brother and sisters. Yeah? The only difference is Jewish drink wine, and Arabs should not drink wine. But Muslims should not drink, but they do also, like everybody. No, the story is that the law itself, it's over 3,000 years old, the kosher law, and it's written in secondary books next to Torah, to the Old Testament. Okay. And of course, 3,000 years ago, people didn't know a lot about hygiene. They didn't know anything about conservation, preservation. So everything was completely new about. The only thing they knew is that sometimes, if you do certain things, life can be more or less risky. Yeah. So most of the parameters of the kosher law are preventive measures to avoid certain risk. Okay. This is one thing, okay? I give you some further information about that. And then there's the second line, which is the religious purity, yeah? Religious purity means that during the whole fermentation, the whole production, we can pick the grapes, but once we get the fruit, from the reception until bottling, everything has to be done by the rabbi and his assistant rabbi. We are not allowed to touch the kosher wine, and we are not allowed to look at the kosher wine, okay? Yeah? Even by looking, be careful, even by looking, we contaminate. We contaminate the wine, yeah. There are different methods, materials which we can use to clean wine from certain flavors, colors or tastes which we don't like. And those materials are called fining, a clarification. Yeah? Yes? And most of those clarificantes, they're based on either milk, wheat, or fish derivatives. Yeah? The kosher kitchen, you're not allowed to mix meat, fish, milk, and wheat at the same time. You're not allowed to mix them, and you're not allowed to eat them at the same time. Because each group has its own symbolic meaning. For example, in the kosher law, milk, cheese, yogurt, any milk derivatives, any milk products are considered to be a life spender because milk, it's mother milk, yeah, okay. And then meat, if you eat meat, it's considered to be completely the opposite. It's a dead animal concept, yeah. So you mix that. So what you mix on the plate are two concepts, life and death, at the same time, which is somehow perverse to them. You can't mix life and death on the same time. Okay. Their understanding, kosher means whatever you do it the best way you can. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're not perfect. Yeah, but according to your personal facilities, to your knowledge, it has to be perfect. Yeah. Which means anything you do it with conscience and do it with respect. Yeah? If you cook a wine, frankly, you haven't done it the best way you can, according to your knowledge, because you already knew that you're going to damage the wine. Finally, who cares if a non-Jew going to open it? That's the reason why it's still kosher. Okay. On the other one, our wine, as we follow the law, as we do everything perfectly from the beginning on. He says, why have you allowed that a non-Jew opened finally the bottle? This is just what you could have easily avoided. Yeah? And that's the reason why you're not allowed, why this one is not kosher anymore. Okay? So in our case, in your case, whenever you have a Jewish Orthodox friend, guest, business partner, whatever in front of you, if you give the bottle with the opener to him, her, and they open the bottle themselves and they pour themselves the glass, at least their glass is still kosher, and then they can offer you a glass, but as anyway you don't care, yeah? Okay? And I think if you do this, you will have her forever on your side because you show your respect. And I think this is the most important. You don't have to accept, yeah? I think with any religion, and particularly at that level, you can be very, very critical. Yeah, but at least you should be respectful.